One time, when we were at my grandma's house, my cousin and I were bored. So we decided to go to the back room of the house where there was a computer we could play on. But to get there, we had to pass by a stone wall, and that part of the house was extremely dark. There wasn't a single light. Even before we got there, it already felt scary. But we were kids, so we went anyway. We entered the room and started playing around 5 in the afternoon. Time passed fast. 1 hour, then another, until suddenly it was almost 10 at night. Meanwhile, everyone else was in the kitchen playing cards. But after spending so many hours on that computer, my cousin and I started getting a really bad headache. And it wasn't just that. The room felt strange, heavy, uncomfortable, like someone else was in there with us, watching us. We both felt it, but neither of us wanted to say anything first, until we couldn't take it anymore, and we said, "Let's go." We walked toward the door to leave, but when we saw all that darkness outside, we froze. We literally couldn't move. It was like our bodies stopped responding from fear. We tried calling someone from the kitchen, but nobody heard us. So we got scared and went back inside the room. We kept trying to convince ourselves to leave again, but every second felt worse. Then I told my cousin, "It doesn't matter. We'll go together." So we walked out again, very slowly, holding each other's hand. And right then, something moved on top of the stone wall. It was small, very small. We could only see the silhouette because everything was so dark. My cousin and I grabbed each other's hand immediately. That thing stayed still, as if it had seen us too. Neither of us could talk. Neither of us could breathe right. Then, the figure disappeared behind the stones. For a second, we thought it was gone. But right when we were about to take another step, a face started forming on one of the stones. A horrible face. It didn't have normal eyes. At first, it was just dark, empty holes. Then suddenly, it opened these completely black eyes. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like they had no light. But somehow, we could still see them. And then it smiled. A smile way too big to be human, full of ugly teeth, rotten, sharp. That thing was smiling at us. I felt like my body stopped working. I couldn't run. I couldn't scream. I couldn't even breathe right. My cousin was the same. We just stood there staring at that face, completely frozen, until suddenly, that thing moved fast and ran away. That's when my cousin started crying, and in that moment, we both reacted. We started screaming as loud as we could, desperate, like something had hurt us. Everyone ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. When they reached us, my cousin and I were completely pale. We were shaking so badly we could barely speak from fear. One of my uncles immediately went out with a flashlight to search through the woods. He looked everywhere,
but he never found anything. They had to give us sugar water because we felt like we were about to faint. And to this day, I have never been able to forget that face, or that smile, or the way it looked at us from the stone wall.